This episode is sponsored by nobody. Here we are again. After a short 20 years break in digital photography, I'm back in the analog space. Recently I had the genius idea to use a free weekend for a trip here in Switzerland. The goal for this glorious journey is the Teufelsbrücke, or Devil's Bridge, located deep in the Swiss mountains. But before reaching my goal, I had to make several stops and dump some money into my artwork. A classic mountain shot will never get old and makes for a nice warm-up. Speaking of temperature, of course I had to choose a trip when Switzerland was hit with massive snow. How genius I am. The first major stop was Flüelen, a lovely town located on the Urnersee. Being as lazy as I am, of course I tried to move as little as possible, so it was only natural to take the first shot right from the parking lot. After burning some money on these shots, I thought it would boost my career if I actually moved around a bit. After 2 minutes of walking, I thought why not take another shot of some soulless concrete tunnels. Again. And as predicted, laziness will never take you far. But the next one will be fine, right? I somehow enjoy shooting symmetrical stuff and this gear was perfect for it. I'm using Portra 400 for this entire trip. In my experience, Portra 400 almost always delivers. I would like to try out Portra 800 again, but that would kill me financially. Okay, after already burning my lunch budget on this part of the journey, I had to feed my hungry camera with more film. And yes, what's better than a remote kids' playground? I'll always get a mix of curious and slightly judgmental looks from locals. From afar, I probably looked like a homeless guy injecting himself with something. But don't worry, this stuff is way more expensive than any chemical. It would have been wise to invest in some gloves. My hands weren't prepared to load film in these freezing temperatures. But at least the film is safe in such cold conditions. After my Fuji camera hit its fill, it was time to leave and hit the road. At the next stop, I had to feed my other bigger kid, my beloved but often misunderstood 6x17. I've always dreamed of owning a Fuji 6x17, but I'm not enough of a hero to dump 10 grand into 3-decade-old tech. So recently I picked up a 6x17 camera produced through a 3D printing process by a company called Noble Design based in the UK. The beauty of 6x70 is that instead of getting 8 shots per roll, like with my Fuji 6x9, you can burn twice the money while only getting 4 shots. How much fun is that? What really makes me love this camera is how solid it feels, and using it is like handling a Kalashnikov. The major difference is that you load the film on the right side instead of the left, unlike most other analog cameras. As usual, I had to learn this the hard way by losing an entire roll when I first bought it. Once you've rolled in the film, there's a small hole where you can see the numbers on the back of the film. When you can spot number 1, you close the hole and you're ready to shoot. As fancy as I am, I don't use a traditional light meter. I use an app called Light Meter, which gives me very accurate results. Once after all the parameters are set, you just program the lens and you're ready to go. Noble Design offers a mobile phone holder on top of the camera, but I think it looks nicer when you squeeze yourself close to the small optical viewfinder to guess what the image might look like. And here are some of the 6x9 shots. And my personal advice is, always turn 180 degrees and take another shot. Like this beautiful ancient wall right next to the highway. Gorgeous. The journey continues and the temperatures are dropping faster than my bank account on this analog adventure. After feeding my Fuji, I head to a small Alpine pass before finally reaching the Devil's Bridge. I like the outcome. The flat, almost graphical styles give me a feeling that I'm a great artist. The car shows -3.5 degrees, which is an absolutely lie. It feels more like the hardest Russian winter. I finally arrived at my destination, the Devil's Bridge. This place comes with a fascinating story. According to the legend, the locals asked the devil to build a bridge over the river. In return, he demanded the first soul to cross it, but they outsmarted him by sending a goat. Furious, he threw a stone that landed nearby, now known as the Devil's Stone. Somehow it feels like analog film photography has claimed my soul too.